When you score, you make the West Ham sings. Jimmy on the wing, Jimmy, Jimmy on the wing. Every time you're on the ball, we know it's gonna be a goal. Your real name is Crescencio. La da da da, la da 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 dum, la da 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 dum, la da 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 dum, la da da da. Welcome to Claret and Booze. I hope you enjoy the show. Come on, you irons. Hello, everyone. Good evening. What a fantastic evening it is. My goodness. I hope you're all well. Impromptu live show. I've been busy. I've been rammed all day, but I've been following the news. It's been non-stop, just coming through, popping up with the updates on Todibo, because we recorded that Boozecast yesterday. That was actually yesterday, sort of around about, it was quite early, yesterday lunchtime, and so the Todibo news hadn't even broken, you know. I knew that we was interested in him, but my God, do we move fast. Well, I say we move fast. I just think that we find out on certain deals quite late. That's obviously, you know, apparently Tim had already been over there a couple of days, flown over there to talk to the player. Unbelievable. But look, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to ask you, I don't normally do it on a live show, and I've got a bone to pick with you lot as well, because you know I always drive you mad at the start of every show with the same thing. Hello, everyone. It's Nick from Claret and Booze. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and please, drop a like on the video. I hate doing it. I do. But it does really help the channel when we get likes on the video. I thought on the Boozecast, I'm not going to do it and see what happens. If I don't ask, I don't get. So please, please, drop a like on the video, because it does really help us. Honestly, it's not a vanity thing. It tells YouTube to share it around, and it helps the video reach more people. That's basically what it is. And it does make me feel good as well. Of course it does when you drop a like on a video. But no, unbelievable today. You know, obviously we're going to talk about Wan-Bissaka as well. But the Todibo news has moved so fast since last night. You know, he was flown over today. I think he had the first part of his medical. You're getting different messages from different people. The first part of his medical was in France, and then he was flown over. Tim went over in his jet, brought him back, and he's done his medical. It's done. He's expected to sign tonight. They're not hanging around, and they won't mess around on this one, because you know typically with West Ham, we don't like to do. If at this stage of a deal, we wouldn't be getting the player unveiled until Monday, because they don't seem to work over the weekends. Well, they're not messing around with Todibo, because Juventus have still been trying to contact the player while he's been having his medical. He's been on the treadmill, he's been doing bench press, and they've been phoning him up saying, "Oi, come over here." I don't know the full details of the deal yet, but if we have managed the sort of loan with the obligation to buy at the end of the season, that's just an absolute fucking masterstroke. It is. And when you consider that not just me, all right, not just me, that we were getting frustrated with Tim. There was an awful lot of people that have been proven absolutely right. Loads of people were saying, look, there's still time, don't panic. But we had that 4-week dead spot. And a lot of people were getting twitchy, not just me. And I am so happy. I am so blown away. This is beyond my wildest dreams, what's happened here. And I don't think we're even finished yet. I don't think we are. Todibo, if we do, it's done. We've got Todibo. It's done. We're just waiting for the media pictures and the fancy video, because he will get a fancy unveiling. This is a marquee signing. This is one of the best defenders, centre-backs in European football, which means in world football. He is unbelievable. Mobile. He's brilliant in every way. Everything you want from a centre-back, that is what you want. I always thought he was kind of beyond our reach, because we've got no European football to offer. So I thought we were going to struggle to attract a player of that calibre. I know we got Kudus and we've got Paqueta before, but that was with European football to offer them. And it's so impressive what Tim has done, because he just obviously really knows how to play the market. Because as we know, this guy, when we first approached him, we put the bid in, they accepted it, but the player was like, no, I want to hang on to see if Juventus, who have got Champions League football, come in for me. That was his preference, which is fine. That's what you can understand that. You know, the player's got no affiliation to West Ham. If he can get Champions League football, of course he's gonna take that route. But what's happened is Tim's left that on the back burner, and he's just gone on a fucking rampage. And I think we're going to see the same with Duran. I don't think this is done, right? I'm going to talk about Duran later. But he's basically gone, all right, fair enough. So we've gone out in the window, first of all, right? We went out and we bought Guilherme, an 18-year-old Brazilian starlet. Unbelievable potential. Unbelievable talent. He won't kick on straight away. It'll be like an impact player, but this is a player that I think we'll start to see the best of towards the end of this season. You know, he could flourish and really kick into gear around about the time that maybe you might expect to lose a Paqueta or a Kudus, and maybe he could replace one of them. Talk about forward thinking, you know, because in terms of his potential, it's up here, Guilherme. But he's not good to go now, and he doesn't need to. He's not under any pressure to now because of all the other players we've bought. We then went out and bought Max Kilman. I don't think that Max Kilman solved all of our defensive issues. I was quite underwhelmed with that signing. However, if it had been the other way round and we'd have bought Todibo first and then got Max Kilman, I'd have been fine. Now we've got Todibo, I'm over the moon with it. I think it's fine. That is a brilliant defensive partnership. It is amazing. I'm not certain that we're done at centre-back yet. I think there will be one more. Whether that's going to be a Soleil from RB Leipzig, who we could get for, you know, a bargain, sort of 15 million, and he's worth a whole lot more than that. He's a real talented player. Or whether I really hope not, whether they'll go for a Hummels. But look, it's a stopgap. If we need someone like that because we're moving an Aguero on, because I'm assuming Aguero's going to be moved on after the signing year, because he's not going to get played and he's just going to depreciate further. But yeah, I'm bouncing about. So when you look at that, we've got Foderingham in, and then we've gone out and we've gone and got Somerville. What a signing. What an app, not just because of the song, you know, because it's a wonderful song. Not just because of the song, but just an outstanding player. I didn't know much about him, if I'm honest. I was quite ignorant to the Championship last year. I was quite ignorant to the Premier League. Such was my misery with football. I weren't really watching much football at all. But Somerville, now I've looked at him, I've read the scouting reports, I've seen what Leeds fans have been saying about him as well. Now, Leeds are quite a feisty fan base. And he is basically, you know, if he's their best player. So you would imagine a fan base like that to be scathing when a player leaves. But no, it's good luck. Good luck, Jimmy, or good luck, Cree, whatever they call him. Because apparently when they got relegated, he done nothing but give 100%. He never ever put a transfer request in. He did everything he could to try and get him promoted again. They hold him in nothing but high esteem. So we've gone and got an absolutely top-class player there. Wonderful, exciting player with a great character as well. A great character. That's always good to see, isn't it? You know, and then obviously the only sticking point with me was Duran. I've wanted Duran through this whole bloody window and I still want him. And then we got Füllkrug. And I didn't want Füllkrug because I wanted Duran. It was nothing to do with Füllkrug. They was just different types of player. And I couldn't understand it. But when you look at it really, if Tim's got a vision, you don't go from Duran to Füllkrug. You don't. In my mind, they must have always been looking to buy two strikers for different, you know, like different types of striker, because they are. They are. I do think that we're going to go back in for Duran. I genuinely do. I think that's going to be Tim Steidten's mic drop moment. That will be it. And that won't be a 10 out of 10 window. If we go out and get Aaron Wan-Bissaka now, because the latest update from X is that the discussions about the clause that he's got, you know, the £7 million loyalty bonus, that's basically been settled now. They're expecting that to be unveiled as well. That should be sorted this weekend. It's done. That's the first time that X has said that. You know, it's basically done. The player wants to come. All that was happening was Man United and West Ham were bartering over just negotiating the price because of that clause. So that's done. So we're expecting two players to come in now. That's Todibo and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It's fucking insane. It's insane. Could you? This is like a rebuilt team. He's rebuilt this team. I mean, when you think about it logically, when you look at what we've seen pre-season, we've seen with the players that we've got, you can't really play that passing game. So I think to change style, because that team was built in David Moyes' image, he had to go out and buy new players and get new players in. We've got Rodriguez on a free transfer as well. And what a coup that is, on a free transfer. I knew nothing about him. I do now. Not just on show reels. Like I said to you, I've read loads and loads of scouting reports on this guy, reports from people that have been talking about him, holding him in such high esteem. A fantastic central midfielder. He's 30, but that doesn't matter. Look at what Man United paid for Casemiro, who was like a year, 2 years older when he went to Man United, I think. Brilliant player. Fantastic. So Fulkrug. So we've got, so Guilherme, Kilman, Fodringham, Somerville, Fulkrug, and Rodriguez. And then we've gone and bought Todibo. And that is done. And now we're going to get Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think we'll get another centre-back. And like I said, I think the mic drop moment is going to be Duran. Can you imagine? It'd be fucking amazing. It'd be amazing. I mean, try and pick a team. Try and pick a team from that. I don't know. We had this conversation on the Boozecast yesterday about it was John that brought it up, John Kamei, and he said, who's going to drop out? Who's going to? And this is a thing. This is the thing. I don't know. It's amazing. What a problem to have. But if you're Lopetegui, you might be the type of guy that's probably going to be using 16 players in a game. He'll use his subs. He'll rotate. And it'll be depending on who we're playing. It'll be depending on who starts, I'm assuming, in certain positions. But look, this screenshot was sent to me earlier on from a potential lineup. Just imagine this for a moment, if you will. Take your defensive glasses off for a minute. All right? Deep breath. Deep breath. Alphonse Areola. That is a 3-2-4-1. They never played 3-2-4-1 in the Premier League. But when you've got that much attacking talent, you ain't got to worry about defending. You haven't, all right? So just bear with me. Look at that. Come on. Areola, you've got Wan-Bissaka, who can play at right centre-back. They're absolutely perfect. Big guy, great defensively. Todibo holding that back line, marshalling that back line. The general, Kilman on the left, very cultured, left-sided centre-back that's worked under Lopetegui before, knows how to play a three at the back. You've got Rodriguez and Alvarez. We know all about Alvarez. Well, Alvarez knows all about Rodriguez because they've played together before. This is a sought-after player. Barcelona were trying to buy him. He's brilliant. He's like a complete central midfielder. Very combative, very strong, technically gifted. He's defensively aware. He can pick a pass. He can shoot as well. He can. He's got a shot on him. He's got a rocket on him. And that front four, the middle four there, just behind Fulkrug. That's orgasmic. That's orgasmic. You've got Jimmy Somerville. You've got Lucas Paqueta. You've got Kudus. You've got Bowen. And then you've got the big battering ram up front. There's going to be elbowing defenders in the throat. Now, I'm not being funny. What are you supposed to do against that? What are you supposed to do against that team? I'm not saying we'll start like that. You might find that those wide players that are Bowen, I'm not saying Bowen's going to drop out, by the way, but you might find that the wide players are, wing backs in the system. But you know what? When we're playing certain teams, we could just literally fucking blitz them because, teams that are going to play the low block against you, teams that are going to play the low block against us. That's what we're going to find now because that is how much attacking talent we're going to be pushing teams back. And when you do that, what you need is craft, you need trickery, you need to be able to open defences up, something we could never do before. We was always a counter-attacking team. Well, no more. No more we're a counter-attacking team. Have a look at that. Now, what I have got to do, I've got to talk about Timmy Steidten, right? Because I waxed lyrical about Tim Steidten all last year. I was fuming because I thought David Moyes was standing in his way, which he clearly fucking was, as we're seeing now. And I also said at Christmas time that they were stockpiling money. That's why they was never going to invest in January. But then do you know what I did? Right? I got impatient. I did. And the love of my life, Tim Steidten, I turned on him. I turned my back on Tim for about 2 weeks. I gave him 2 weeks and I started to lose patience. I questioned Tim. I should never have questioned Tim. And I shall never question him again. He's a beautiful man. I love his hair. I do. He's a wonderful man. He really is. It's amazing. It's amazing what he's done in the window so far. It's so nice. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It is actually, you can see why the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool and teams like that were actually going after this guy because it is fucking unbelievable what he's done. It really is. Like I said to you, he's the way he's played the market. This Todibo deal is a perfect example. This was ages ago. Wasn't it like a month ago we put this bid in? And it's just sat there. We never withdrew it. Just sat there. It was like, all right, we know Juventus ain't got the money. We know he wants to go there. Juventus ain't got the money. They can't have him. But yeah, apparently today he did, Juventus did try to sabotage the deal and sort of get in there at the last minute, but he weren't having none of it. Once he saw the training ground and the portal cabins, that was it. Todibo was like, I can't go anywhere else. This is amazing. It's an amazing. Tim took him into his office, the one without the windows, and he went, this is just, sign of a class club. I wonder if they're going to do that up the training ground now, because that's the last thing, isn't it? But no, look, I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon with this. I'm going to go through some comments. People are telling me to slow down. I can't slow down. I'm happy. Don't knock it. Won't last long, but, Right, let's go through some comments very, very quickly. So we've got Mitchell. Hello, mate. Omar Gunny. Black Country. Good evening, mate. Hammers Mikey. We've got Green Badge. Hello, Trodge. What's this? Predictions with Sam Allardyce and... Oh, God. I wonder what David Moyes' prediction is. I wonder how he feels at the moment. Do you think he feels quite sick? I hope so. Right. Hello, Graham. Hello, Scott. So we've got Joe. Hi, Gary. They did... Oh, no, you're talking to someone else. That's fine. So we've got JB, Hammers Gary, Freshfielder, Pew. You'd have to wait till Sunday for that business. I'm not doing that. He's only gone and got himself neon as well. He sent me a picture. It looks nice, actually. He's got a little Claret and Booze sign. Neon. He's going to put it on the wall behind him. It does look nice. Ben Howe, hello, mate. You all right? We've got Joe. Right, any questions? Help me out a bit here. What do you want to talk about? Let me know your thoughts on this. So we've got Charles Pearson, who's just given me a super sticker. Thank you very much, Charles. You're a top man. Nick is Tim. If you order Tim off of Wish, yeah, probably am, to be honest. I don't think anyone could do the job that he's done. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Right. What we got? Come on. You're all talking amongst yourselves. So Juventus are still trying to get him. I know they are. What, is there another update? Okay, 1 minute. What I will say, right, I do give credit where it's due. I do. X has been on holiday for about the last 2 weeks, travelling through Europe. And do you know what? The guy has been spot on with his updates. He has been taking breaks. He has been keeping people updated. And let me just make sure that there isn't another update that's going to burst my bubble. And yours as well. Right. So where are we? Torino's deal. He's misspelt that. Hopefully be emojis time tomorrow. So it's done. Basically, they're taking the photos. He's in his sexy underwear. He's pulling his socks up. Amanda and Kerry were telling me about this because they're in the circle group and they're going on about Jimmy Somerville, the way he pulls his socks up. What's all that about? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. He pulls his socks up nice. So we've got... Yeah, no, it's fine. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The latest update on Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a compensation package is very close to being agreed, which is the thing that was holding up the deal. Come on, you words. Come on, you words. I mean, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, that is just brilliant. It is. I know... look, listen, I would have been happy with whichever right back we were linked with, whether that be that Martinez, who John spoke about, from Girona, or Ferdi Kodioglu. You know, is that how you say his name? I don't know. Top player, though. Top player, that Kodioglu. But I would have been happy with him as well. So, 35 million that would have been, no, that was quite steep. I'm just happy. I'm just very, very happy at the moment. I know it feels quite weird. You're probably thinking you're tuned into the wrong channel. Question. Tony Hodgson. Question. How much do you think we've spent? Whoa. I don't know. You've got to take into account the players that we've moved on. Probably from January, to be quite honest. So, I don't know. We've spent 40 million on Kilman. We haven't spent 25 million on Guilherme. I know that much. So, I don't want to bore you with this, but this is something that that Sam David sent me a while back. And I was going to do a show on it. Hang on 1 minute. Right. Is it big? Ooh, that's what she said. Okay, I'm going to read it to you. Right, Palmeiras' teenage Brazilian forward, Luis Guilherme, is a highly rated 18-year-old, has been in talks, blah, 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 blah. Now, there might be a bit of leg pulling going on as well. Although highly promising, this is talking about the player. Right, 1 minute. If you read between the lines, represented by Brazil, it tells you about the deal. Right, so what... Because of, I'm not going to read the whole thing out because it's quite long, but it says essentially The player can be signed for a relatively small amount of money up front, which would increase over the years if the player's value goes up when the amortization is equalised. If, however, his value drops, then their losses can be claimed by the buying club against their FFP. Confused? You better be. In a nutshell, the Hammers can take a punt on Luis Guilherme. If it works, it will be seen as a masterstroke. If it fails, it's not going to be a financial disaster. Apparently, South American expert Tim Vickery has released a statement confirming that as well. So we haven't spent a fortune on Guilherme. You're probably looking at about 5 million up front. So Max Kilman was expensive, as we know. Fotheringham was free. Somerville, it's expensive, but it's not. I think we've got a great player there. That's 25 million. I don't think we've spent a fortune, not yet, because Todibo is 40 million, but not until the next window, from what I'm told. I think that's the deal. I think it's basically we've got him. We've got him for a year, and then we pay him in 12 months. We pay him in 12 months, probably when we sell someone, or when we get the massive winnings from qualifying for the Champions League. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine it? So, question 14-1 to make top 4. Yes, it is worth a bet, and yes, I am lumping on. Actually, I will only lump on top 4 if we get Duran. I'm not saying that's the only way we will get top 4, but if we get Duran, I just find it impossible to see that we won't get top 4. So it's almost like a sure bet. I'll bet you those odds drop if we sign Duran as well. If we sign Todibo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, another centre-back in Duran, we won't be 14-1. Because all the teams that we're going up against, apart from Newcastle, are in Europe. They're in Europe. They're playing twice a week. We ain't. Right, where do you think that we will finish, says James? I would say top, anything less, with the money that we've spent and the squad that we've got now, even with a slow start, I would expect nothing less than top 8. Nothing less than top 8. If we didn't, and we finished 10th or below, I wouldn't throw my toys out the pram. I'm just saying that would probably be seen as a bit of a failure in Lopetegui's first season. He's on a 2-year deal. They're spending a lot of money. So he's got a lot of pressure on him, Lopetegui. He has. Not from us, not from me, but if the club are spending, that's obviously going to be piled onto his shoulders. So he must be, I think we'll get top 8, but I quite fancy us to go higher. I think we could get 6th or 5th. If we get Duran, I'm going 4th. I am. I do think, right, what we got here? So Peter Chelmsford says, how long do you think it will take the team to gel? That I don't know. Based on pre-season, forever. Because pre-season was painful. But we didn't really see any of these players. I think that was almost like, I don't know what that was. That could have been a tool that Lopetegui used to show Sullivan, you better go and buy some fucking players. Because it's only been after that pre-season that these players have started flying through the door, isn't it? So it could have been that. This could have been quite clever, quite cunning. A design by Tim, who will have learned a lot about Sullivan and the way that his little mind works in his little head, because he's little. Maybe it could have been that, And plus, Lopetegui did have to give players a chance as well. I'll go back to the last game that we played against Palace when Freddie Potts was the best central midfielder on the pitch in that first half, and then he was hooked off in the second half. Lopetegui did give him a cuddle, though. He did. And it was as if he was saying, son, you're all right, mate. You've done well. You can come off this lot. Fucking let them embarrass themselves. You're too good for that lot. That's almost like, because he was fuming. His face. One thing with Lopetegui, he can't hide the emotion on his face, and the emotion was very angry. I like it. I like it a lot. Bit like me. Ain't got my managerial talent, though. So Andrew Fenwick says he's looking forward to the season. Right. Don says, with this squad and Moyes at the helm, what would our record be? Mate, I think you could give David Moyes... You could give him Man City's team. You could. He'd never win the league. He wouldn't, even if he had the best team. He did well. I'll tell you what I probably should do now. David Moyes excluded. The players, though. There are certain players who I've given a bit of stick to. I'll start with Souček, because I do think that Souček is going to be moving on. He is. We ain't going to be seeing much of him if he is here. And from what I've been told, I think he is going to be moved on. Possibly Soufal as well. They're mates. Neither one of these players we've seen, they're not going to sit on the bench. The Czech boys won't sit on the bench. They want to play. I've got to say, Souček's been a very good servant for West Ham. I've grown very tired of watching him play because I think I have. But he was very good when he came in, scored a lot of important goals, gives everything for the badge. He does. He's a great character as well. I've given him a lot of shit. And you know what? When he goes, I wish him well. I do wish him well. He has given everything, blood, sweat and tears, literally blood, the amount of times he's cut his head open playing for us. So, yeah, I will say that. Kurt Zouma as well, another one who I've got a bit of a soft spot for, not because he kicks cats, because that doesn't make him a very nice person, but the way that the man's been he's been playing in pain for the last few years. More or less every game, every minute that Moyes could play him. He never took him off. He never gave him any respite. And he weren't the best captain, but I do think that Zouma he's done amazingly well since he's been here, given the condition of his body. Another one, I think he'll probably get another couple of years playing in the UAE. I reckon he will. But no, David Moyes, no, still full of resentment and hatred for that man. I can't stand him. Never will. Imagine what Lopetegui and Tim, imagine what they could have attracted last summer when we just won a cup and we had the Europa League in front of us. Imagine that. Oh, we wouldn't have had that last year of pain. But look, we are where we are. It's done. This history. Moyes is nothing but a fart in the wind. He is. So Richard says he'll be disappointed if we didn't finish top 6. I wouldn't be disappointed, no. I wouldn't be disappointed. I'm not expecting us to finish top 6. Not in the first season. Because you don't know how we're going to kick on. Sort of going back to Peter's question, how long do you think it's going to take the team to gel? If you looked at Ange Postecoglou, what he did with Spurs, I suppose that was similar. They had Conte, they had Mourinho, very defensive managers. Postecoglou came in and completely transformed the way that they played. They kicked on immediately in the first part of that season. They did, but then they faded. Not just because they got found out, but because they got injuries, because they had a thin squad. Well, and also the manager, who I do like, Postecoglou, he has shown himself to be a little bit naive at times as well. I don't think he's got the tactical nous to adapt. It's literally, I play this way and that's it. Loppy ain't like that. He's not. He'll do what he needs to do to win. So I think if we're struggling, it isn't like he'll just, I'm going to keep on playing this way regardless. He'll try and patch things up and get the 3 points ultimately. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how long it's going to take to gel. I think you've got to give this team until Christmas. I think even if we start amazing and we start on fire against Villa and we get a win against Villa, which is I quite fancy now. I think we're going to beat Villa now. I still think that we could get a bit of a correction. We could get brought down to earth again because it's a new team, new players, new manager, new ethos. You can't expect them to be 100% straight away. So I reckon you've got to give them until Christmas. After that point, I reckon we should fly, especially with this squad and the fact that we haven't got European football weighing us down, It's perfect, really. John mentioned that on his show the other day as well. It's a blessing in disguise having Lopetegui in a season where we haven't got European football when you're changing stuff because you've got a week in between games on the training ground. So it don't always make sense, John, but he did on that occasion. Kai says, I can't believe how skint Italian clubs are. Yeah, no, shame, innit? Shame. I'm glad they are. Otherwise, we wouldn't have got Todibo. Who needs to leave now, Nick? Now, if I could pick, Zuma's got to go. Souček's got to go. And do you know what? I'll leave James Ward-Prowse here. I will. I'm gonna. Again, it's not just John that said that, but lots of people have said that James Ward-Prowse was good when he first came in, and then for whatever reason, Moyes just kind of killed him, didn't he? He was like, "Stop it! What are you doing? You was brought in to take free kicks, son. Get back there. We'll just let you forward when we got a set piece." So I'm willing to give. I don't think he's going to get much game time. I don't think he's mobile enough. I agree with myself with my early analysis of James Ward-Prowse as a midfield player. I think he's technically good, but I don't think as a central midfielder he's got the size, the defensive awareness. He hasn't got the mobility either. He runs a lot. He covers a lot of kilometres. But no, not for me. I'm not a fan. But I'd be happy if he stayed. He's all right. He's a technical player. He could slot in there. You know, he could slot into a passing team because he's a passing player. And Cornet. Cornet's got to go. I was willing to give him a chance, but from what I've seen of him, I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. Dave says that's a German accent model from 70s educational films. Yes, it is. So 14-1 is. Do you know what? I think that's quite short odds when you consider that the season that we had last year and how difficult it is. I know Villa broke into the top 4 last year, but 14-1 ain't. It's not the best. What league position can we aim for? I think we should aim for 4th. We should aim for top 4. That should be the aim with the money that we're spending. We should be aiming for a Champions League spot because with the intent that we're showing here, this is nothing that we've ever seen before. We're looking at quality players doubled up. We've got backups in every position, for fuck's sake. We've never had this before. Like I said, if you ask 10 people to pick their starting 11s and their shape, you probably have 10 different teams. I think you've got to aim for 4th, but not get disappointed if it doesn't go well. If we end up halfway, then, you know, you just got to look for the next season. You know, this is a project, isn't it? I agree, Richie. We do love Tim. We do. He's getting a lot of love, isn't he? He's getting a lot of love out there. Doesn't he deserve it, though? Steve says, do you think the quality of the squad being built will make Kudus and Paqueta think about sticking around? Yeah, this is what I hope. This is what I really, really hope, because look, the players will have grown tired. Players like this will grow tired playing for a team that are not on the ball. Paqueta and Kudus are players that thrive in possession and thrive on the ball. They were playing for a team that didn't want the fucking thing. You know, they were going to want to move on. But most importantly, they're going to want to play for a team that show ambition. I think they've got affinity with the club. They like the fans. They love the fans. I don't think that's an issue, you know. I think if we start showing ambition and start showing them that stick around, you know, we can push for top 4. We can push for these competitions. Look at the players that we're buying. Why would you leave? Why would you leave? You know? And I think we'd be ready. Do you know that? I think if imagine this group of players that we've got now, if we qualified for Champions League next year, you're probably saying I'm going to get ahead of myself. I probably am. But say we qualified for Champions League next year, add another couple of players. We're ready for the Champions League. We are. I'm not saying we'd win it, but we're ready. We certainly wouldn't be one of those teams that goes out in the first round. We're a quality outfit now. Right, where are we? Sorry. What's that? What's a football porn pick? Oh, you're talking about the formation that I put up. Right, hang on. I'm slow at comments. I'm terrible, and I'm also short-sighted, so I'm sort of squinting as well. Don't want to put me bins on. Nick, if we get AWB, who else do you think, if anyone else, will get in? Yeah, I've just said that. I think that I think that we will get another centre back. I hope it's not Hummels, but I won't piss and moan if it is. I won't. We've got Kilman, we've got Aguirre, we've got Dinos. You know, if we have to go and get another centre back like that as a stopgap because we feel we need cover, I won't moan. I would rather us go and get a Soleil or someone like that, personally. Question, Nick, can you believe our net spend is under 70 million? Yes, I can. I can believe it. I explained that a little bit earlier on. The Guilherme deal wasn't 25 million for a start. It wasn't. And all of these deals as well, don't forget, you don't pay up front for them. You know, if you buy 2 players for 50 million now, you ain't spent 100 million in this window. You haven't. They're spread over the course of a contract. So I think we're well under. You think we went out, we got Rodriguez in, we'll get money for Souček. If we sell Souček, I'm confident we'll get 15 million for him, 10 to 15 million. Playing for the right team, he's still a useful player. We'll get money for him. Cornet, I think we'll probably have to give him away. Zuma will get nothing for. Mandy, that's more like it. 251 to win the league. Might be, well, look, you don't know. Leicester done it, you know. Could you imagine? Oh, would be wonderful, wouldn't it? What a way to move on that would be. He just has the way, not the way. Right, okay. I'm going to go down to the bottom because there's loads of comments. They're all flying through. Hang on, I'm going to go down to the bottom. Sorry if I've missed any out. Fabrizio has just tweeted that the Wan-Bissaka deal was likely to be completed in the next few days. Yeah, boy! There you go, see? There you go. It's all coming together. This is ridiculous. What was the fucking hold up then? Why, if we can get all these players, we're signing a team in a week. What was the hold up before? I don't get it. Was they teasing us? Is that what he was doing? Was he being naughty? Just trying to sort of tease us to wind us up and say, yeah, I'm going to show you lot. Or is it just how the window works? I don't know. Is it the domino effect that people talk about? Todibo looks like he's not going to happen here. What's that? Don't be silly. He'll definitely be over here, mate. He'll definitely be over here. There's riots everywhere. He's come from France, for fuck's sake. They burn everywhere, don't they? The French. They love a riot. John, Nick, do you think there's any possibility that Liverpool have already struck a deal for Kudus for this window? I hope not. But I don't know. With the business that we've done, I wouldn't be as devastated now at this stage. I don't want him to go. I want him to stay. But do I think it could happen? No. Do you know what? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I was talking bollocks. No. Kudus stays. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going down that route. Positive show. This is positive. We're not selling. I don't think we are going to in this window. Why would we? Why would we do all of this work in this transfer window to remove one of our key players? You know, a match winner. You wouldn't bother. You wouldn't do that. No way. No, I'm not doing it. I was talking rubbish. Don't listen to Nick. Lee Mason says, Nick's got a Tim Steidten inflatable doll. I ain't got it yet. I've got the lube, but the doll's, it's en route. I've ordered it. It just ain't turned up yet. I just want to play with his curtains. You know. Happy Hammerette says, someone mentioned earlier, 10th of August was our first sign-in last season. I know. This is the thing, isn't it? Have we ever got all of our business done before the Premier League kicked off? Because I think that we possibly could, with the exception of Duran. That could be the one where once Villa's out the way, we could then go to Villa at that point, you know, and probably get it done. Because if I was Aston Villa at the moment, I'd be looking at the squad that we're building, and I'd be thinking, yeah, I don't really want to give them Duran. They know what a talented player he is. We'll see what happens. We'll see how brave they are. We'll see how brave Aston Villa are. Come on, give us Duran. Give us Duran if you think you're hard enough. Go on, do it. I bet you they'll be thinking along those lines. They'll be thinking, fuck me, they're getting strong. Let's see if we can get Duran shipped out to Saudi. Do you know what I mean? But that player's he only wants to go in the Premier League. He's chosen West Ham. He's told everyone that's where he wants to go. DB says the hold up for AWB was Man United would have owed him 7 million. Yeah, there's obviously been some sort of negotiation there, you know. And I do think as well, don't forget, I do think that the business and the way that we've acted in the last few weeks has made us look like a fucking big club. It's put us on the map. I've never seen so many opposition fans talk about us in this way before. We're a serious team now. People, mind you, we can't believe it, can we? Not really. No, none of us really expected this. You know, if we're honest, it probably is approaching the 10, even without, we needed another centre-back, 100%. With Todibo, you're probably looking at close to a 10 out of 10 window. With Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Duran, mate, if Tim pulls off Duran as well, that will be the icing on the cake. There'll definitely be a goal coming through the post at that point. Where are we? God, they're flying in. The West Ham World YouTube channel. That used to be the Three Hammers, by the way. That is Luke. Like the new name for the channel, mate. The ambition being showed is fantastic. We'll hopefully keep Kudus, Pac-Man, etc. Yeah, mate, it will do. It will. Well, ambition and success will keep players of that level keen. You know, these are players. You don't get to that level in the game unless you've got ambition. You know, you don't. Imagine if we finish above Arsenal this year. Imagine that. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. You don't know. There's a lot of good teams this year. I think Liverpool could kick on. Under Slot. There's a lot of people that are saying that they think he will. You know, that team is custom made for him. They could do well. You know, you've got Chelsea ain't going to be shit forever. At some point, that team's got to click. So, you know, Arsenal could start getting shifted down the pecking order. It could happen. They've only got to have a dodgy moment. Is there over 1,000 watching? I can't see on this software. Honestly, I don't know how many's watching. Thank you very much. I feel privileged. Well, what I've only got 400 likes, said. Like the video, please. 1,000 people. Thank you very much. Because as I said at the start of the video, if you don't ask, you don't get with you lot. Honestly. I don't like driving you mad, begging for likes. But if I don't ask, you don't like the video. Yeah, that's right. You tell him, Abby. You tell him. GJ Thomas says, I know we were going to invest heavily before Jaya walked out. Yeah. Look. This must have been in what's this? If Nick gets 1,000 likes, will you do more Friday night live shows? I'll tell you what. If you give me 1,000 likes, I'll start doing more Friday night shows. All right, get those likes up. Go on. That's a good one. I like that. I will do. The only thing is I'll do them a bit later. I don't like coinciding. I mean, West Ham Fan TV ain't been on for ages, have they? But when the season starts again, they do their Friday night live. So I'll jump on. I'll make sure I go after West Ham Fan TV. I don't like to coincide with their shows. It's not nice. Yes, this is very true, Christopher Murphy. Very true. How many people, how many pundits out there were telling us? How many of our own fans were telling us? And I'm not going to ponder on this, by the way. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Well, I was careful what I wished for. This is what I wished for. Actually, this is beyond what I wished for. It's amazing. But yeah, it's amazing. It's nice, isn't it? But how good is this, though? Look, literally taking all the sarcasm and all the sniping out of it and all that sort of thing. Look, listen, we all just want the West Ham fan base to be happy again. That's ultimately what we want, right? We do. We want to be watching good football and not fucking moaning and all being over the moon with everything to do with West Ham. That's what's going to galvanise this squad, this fan base. This is what we want, and I don't think we're going to. What's this? An inflatable David Moyes sex doll? My God. Yeah. Bet it goes down. Ian Cavell blew Juventus out of the water. Yes, we did. Michael Taylor says the payment structures on transfers over the life of a contract is just kicking the PSR can down the road. I reckon we'll trim the squad down by the end of the window. No. I think we will shift some players out. Of course we will. I think that, like I just said, there are players. There's players that are expendable now that we can look to move on. You've got Danny Ings. Danny Ings is another one that I'd move on, by the way. Danny Ings, I'd keep Antonio for one more season. I'd let him run his contract down. I think he's earned it. Let him have his last season here. You know, he's a good, useful player that we can use off the bench. Why get rid of him now? So no, I would definitely keep Mikel Antonio, move Danny Ings on, move Cornet on, move Souček on, because Souček is still a player that can be of use to other people at the moment, other clubs. So I definitely think that that's something that we should do. Move him on. I would keep Soufal if he's happy to stay. I just don't think he will be. I think whenever Soufal's been dropped, he pisses and moans and starts going on Czech radio and moaning and complaining. I don't think he'll be happy if he's not starting. So I think that could be why we're looking at the likes of Trippier and people like that. We might even sign 2 right-backs because Aaron Wan-Bissaka's done by the looks of it. Could we get Duran with a lower price? I don't know. I don't think that they're going to want to keep him around. You think if you're Villa, Mandy, right? Because Duran is a real bastard for them. He is. He's a problem. He's a proper problem child for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're not going to deal with us until after we've played them, because look, he's that type of player. You know he's going to score against them 100%. So we could absolutely get him at a lower price once that's gone, because he is going to cause them problems. He is. They're in the Champions League. They've got all these players in. They don't need a player that's going to cause disruption. They're not going to want that. So, and he's good at it. He's good at causing disruption, that lad. He is, especially when he wants to come to West Ham. But this is the thing. People say, "Oh, he's got a bad attitude." Well, we've got a wonderful, wonderful history of bonding and making these bad people that no one else wants. I've got one over my shoulder. Got Di Canio over my shoulder. No one else wanted him. Pushed the referee over. That was it. He's done. Oh no, you can't go near Di Canio. We do very well with players that are bad news, and I don't think he is bad news. I just think he wants to play, and I don't think we're going to have the same issue with him working with Füllkrug as we did with Ollie Watkins, because I think that Lopetegui will rotate them. I think they'll both have their part to play in the team. when you look at what Füllkrug's done in the past few years, he's been pretty much an impact player. He comes off the bench. He doesn't start. He was that player for Dortmund. He is that player for Germany as well. So it's something he's used to. And look, at 31, it's only going to prolong his career. We've got him for 4 years. So yeah, I think it could work. Lopetegui, if you rotate players, you haven't got to worry so much. You ain't got to worry. Right, where are we? Right, question from Don. Moving to the London Stadium was actually, has it helped the club financially? Well, it's starting to look that way now, and hate to admit it. At this point, it does. And also, look, you can't overlook the fact that 3 years in Europe has probably helped us, even though throughout that tenure for the last year, for the last little while, I think the majority of money that we've kind of made in that situation with spunked, we have spent $500 million in Moyes' 5 years, but that has kind of put us on the map. It has. Right, I've got a couple of super chats here. So I've got. Hang on. I can't put you up on the screen. Right, I've got Charles Pearson. Thank you very much. I've got Steve West Ham United Bell for a £5 as well. And I've got Nicholas Thornton. Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you very much, mate. Right, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to... Let's see if there's any more questions. Are there any more questions? I'm just whizzing through now. Give us a moment. Because I don't want to take up your whole evening. But look, we still ain't nowhere near the 1,000 mark. 596. Keep on smashing that like button. Not far off. I need 400 more, and I'll start doing more Friday nighters. I've got to bribe you to like shows. Terrible. I don't mind. I'll bribe you. John says that Sky Sports Spanish pundit said that Guido is the player Barcelona should have got. Yeah, well, as per that video you sent me, the interview, I can't think of the guy's name now. An English chap was being interviewed, clearly knew a lot about this player. My God, that got me excited, to be quite honest, because I didn't know much about him. Tracksop says, I think we'll probably go for a prospect from Brazil for the second forward slot rather than plonk 40 million. No. Do yourself a favour. Go online and read some scouting reports. Don't look at the show reels. Ignore show reels. Go out and type in Google, look for scouting reports on Duran, and have a look at what people that analyse players say about him, and maybe look for the same people, the same scouting setup on another player, and look at the difference. This guy has got everything. He's going to be a top striker. Duran is going to be top level. He is. If he weren't slightly crackers, we wouldn't have any chance of getting him. But he's got every attribute that you can want. In fact, Aston Villa fans, that's another one. They hate this player now because he's done the crossed hammers on the screen and he's been a bastard for them. But more or less every single one of them has said they're going to be glad to see him go. But what a player. It's a shame that he wouldn't play second fiddle to Watkins. I've also seen other Aston Villa fans come out and say, if Watkins went and we was left with Duran, I'd be fine with that. That shows you how good this player is. His goals per minutes ratio, when you consider this as a player who's just come into the Premier League from the US, he's got no Premier League experience, was getting minimal minutes. Well, his goals per minutes ratio was more than Watkins. There you go. See? There you go. We're going to get him. We're going to get Duran. I don't want a cheap Brazilian. I want Duran. That's our player. That was our number one target. That is the mic drop moment. Definitively. It is. I'm sure of it. John, you've just offended John the QC. He was once a QC, but he's now a KC. King's Council, mate. King's Council. All right. Used to be a queen, now he's a king. Sega says, with all these new signings, I hope the fans and the board give Loopy some time. Building a new team like this will take time to gel. Absolutely, mate. Now, look, you've got to expect that this window and this flurry of transfers is going to raise expectation now. So the pressure comes with this. We've spent a lot of money. Everyone's excited. But I do think that people are just going to be relieved. I think if people can see a philosophy, most people that were getting angry with Moyes were getting angry because we weren't playing football the right way. We weren't. We weren't even playing football. You know, when we was winning, we was just shithousing. It's been too much for too long. If we can just see a team that are trying to play football the right way, that there is a plan, that there is a project, that there is, that we're going somewhere. Look at what Arsenal did when Arteta came in. It took ages, didn't it? When he did that rebuild, he spent loads every window, Arteta. And it took him, 2 years to really kind of build up a head of steam. So I think you have got to be patient. But it's exciting. We're allowed to be excited, though, But you are right. I think you've got to kind of try and temper your expectations, I'm talking about top 4. That doesn't mean I'm going to be pissed off if we don't get it. I think it's incredibly unlikely that we're going to get top 4. But it's not beyond the realms of possibility. It's not. With the level of quality that we've got now. Let me put this back up for you again. Right, where is it? Where's me lineup? I mean, come on. Imagine that. Now, look, we ain't even... You've got Guilherme, who's not even on that graphic. You've got Emerson. You've got... Do you know who else you've got? You've got Duran. I'll tell you what, just take Fully out for a minute. Or Fuller, whatever his name is. How he likes to be referred to. Put Duran on that graphic. Ooh, imagine that. The pace. I don't know how you would defend against that. I don't know how you would defend against that. And people say that's not defensively. It's not defensively right. Well, in a sense, I can disagree, because Rodriguez and Alvarez are both two defensively minded players that are more than capable of shielding a back 3 of very competent defenders. You've got 5 defenders there, so I don't see why that couldn't work. I'm telling you, that's the formation. 3-2-4-1. 3-2-4-1. I'm telling you, it worked for me in FIFA. Mandy says that lineup is better than Arsenal's. Yeah, it actually is. I'll tell you what, if there's any Spurs fans in here now, I'm telling you now, this team is better than yours. So much better. So much better than Spurs' team. So much better than Tottenham. Even if you buy Tony, I don't give a shit. That team is so much better than Tottenham's team. We are going to batter Tottenham this year. We're actually going to... we ain't going to go there and sit back like we normally do and beat them on a counter and score from a shit-ass goal from corner. Oh, no. We're going to play football against these teams. We're going to beat a few teams off the park. I can't fucking wait. Where's Cornet? Well, that's the question. Where is Cornet? Nobody knows. That formation would give Moyes sleepless nights. Could you imagine? That is a mad formation, isn't it? I mean, looking at that, that's that kind of, it probably makes Ange ball look like Moyes ball. It does, But look, anyway, I've been running now for an hour. I hope you enjoyed this show. I can't get going all night. Thank you very much for everyone. I can see, Jesus Christ, 1,154 people. And I've still only got 658 likes. If you want me back next Friday, get it up to 1,000. Come on. Fund me. But no, going to give it a rest now because I struggle with the comments. It's these glasses, right? I don't like wearing them on screen because they're too small for my head. Watch how the arms bend out. Look, Johnny's right. I've got a big head. Can you see that? Look, and they're wonky as well. All right, I'll do it for a minute. Hang on, 1 second. Where are we? 65 million for Solanke. Is that what Spurs are paying? No way. Honestly, this is the thing. I'm telling you now, Duran, way better than Solanke. Way better than Solanke. So much better. Don says, moving to the London Stadium has actually helped the club financially. And do we still regret the move, knowing what we know now? I will never not regret that move, Don. I will never not regret that move. No, it's wonderful where we are. Maybe ask me in 10 years' time. I can't. I'll never not regret leaving that place. No, that was home. So they're two different questions. If you're saying that, has it been good for the business? Well, if you look at the last 3 years, 4 years, and you look at what we're doing now, obviously it's been good for business. At this stage, you've got to admit it. Right, I've got another super chat from Fortune's hiding down under TV. I don't know why. Oh, I can do it from there. I'm going to put them all up now. So I've got Charles Pearson. Thank you very much. Steve, West Ham United Bell. Thank you very much, Steve. Nick Fulton. Nick 1. I prefer you Sticky Nicky over Sticky Vicky, Nick 2. Thank you very much, mate. And Fortune's hiding down under TV. Ryan, hope you're well, mate. $14.99 in Australian dollars. What a difference a transfer window and new manager makes. It's not hard to excite us. And J-Lo and Tim are doing a bloody good job on that. I wish Pablo was here to see it. Yeah, so do I. Peak Pablo. You know, it is a shame. I'll try not to wind myself up with it. You know. Leon Nickra says, Nick, are you on the happy pills? Yes, I'm on the happy pills. It's very nice as well. I have been all day. I've had a bastard week. I've been quite stressed out all week. It's been difficult this week. So this is nice. I'm incredibly happy to have got to the weekend and to have done this show with you, with all this good news to break. So look, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll come back next Friday. You ain't got to give me 1,000 likes. I'm only joking. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments. And we will see you over the weekend. Love you all. Come on, you irons.